It's Friday, February 28th, 2025. Welcome to episode 143 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, the Planning Board addresses accessibility and reviews Reshape. Mia Bonta unveils her legislative agenda. California looks to end the deny and delay insurance cycle. Foz is setting up shop and offering help for grieving pet owners. Help plant some trees, and a variety of events to choose from this weekend. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story: on Monday, the Planning Board dealt with issues raised by the Universal Design Ordinance. The ordinance was put in place to make environments accessible to people of all abilities, ages, and sizes. Aside from accessibility, there is also the concept of visitability, enhancing a dwelling unit's usability for a wide range of guests, enabling them to enter and readily use critical portions of the space, such as a bathroom. The ordinance mandates that 30% of units in developments of 5 or more units must comply with the universal design, while 100% must meet visitability requirements. However, staff raised concerns about how those requirements impact certain building types, particularly townhomes and row houses, which often use the ground floor solely for parking. These requirements are often seen by developers as prohibitive. Two cases illustrate these challenges: Alameda Marina, which wound up including a high-density apartment block, and a Santa Clara project that could not meet universal design standards without drastic changes. To address this, staff proposed new exemptions. One would apply to buildings with a ground floor area of less than 150 square feet, as such layouts often cannot accommodate accessibility features. Another would be for developments on sites smaller than 3 acres, where meeting the 30% rule would be impractical. Staff also proposed shifting the waiver approval process from the planning board to the building official to create a singular authority and avoid inconsistencies. With some technical clarification, the amendments were approved unanimously. Since episode 52 in May of 2023, we've been talking about the Reshape project, a 309-unit supportive housing development for extremely low, very low, and low-income households on a nearly 8-acre site at Alameda Point. Monday's meeting took a look at the annual report from developer Mid-Penn Housing. Milestones included in the report: demolition and backbone infrastructure plans finalized, the demolition of on-site buildings, site prep, and site layout, building design, and programming plans being completed. Mid-Penn also submitted design review plans for Stardust Gardens at 451 Stardust Place and Harbor Village at 2450 Pan Am. Brana Incorporated was selected as general contractor, and the project received over $3.9 million in funds from Alameda County Measure A1 and the City of Alameda's Affordable Housing Program and Permanent Loan Housing Allocation. The Planning Board unanimously approved a resolution finding that the developer had demonstrated good faith compliance with the terms and conditions of the development agreement from January 1st to December 31st of 2024. For full details on Monday's meeting, see Karen Jensen's article at alamedapost.com/news. California District 18 Assemblymember Mia Bonta has introduced 22 bills for the 2025 legislative season. Last year, Ms. Bonta led 13 bills that were signed into law by Governor Newsom. The 22 bills on her agenda this year can be divided into 6 categories: reproductive care, including easier licensing for alternative birthing centers, affordability issues, health care, threats from the federal level, incarceration, and local issues such as the removal and disposal of RVs. In her latest newsletter, Assemblymember Bonta said, quote, "I'm proud to bring the priorities of the East Bay with me to the state capitol and introduce a bold 22-bill legislative package. This legislation will help families struggling with rising bill costs, ensure California remains a reproductive health leader, disrupt cycles of incarceration, and uplift the values of Oakland, Alameda, and Emeryville." End quote. You can take a full look at the 22 bills with links to the complete text of each at alamedapost.com/news. On the subject of upcoming legislation, if you spend any time at all dealing with medical insurance companies, you know how utterly frustrating the experience can be. And when around 72% of denied claims are eventually reversed in favor of the patient, there's definitely an issue. The reaction to the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last year served to illustrate the degree to which many Americans are completely fed up with the process. California State Senator Scott Wiener has introduced SB 363 in an attempt to address some of these concerns. California could become one of only a handful of states that require insurers to disclose denial rates and reasoning, statistics the industry often considers to be proprietary information. The measure also seeks to force insurers to be more judicious with denials and would fine them up to $1 million per case if more than half of appeals filed with regulators are overturned in a year. In introducing the bill, Weiner said, quote, "When you have health insurance, you should have confidence that it's going to cover the health care you need. They can just delay, deny, obstruct, and in many cases avoid having to cover medically necessary care, and it's unacceptable," end quote. This is just one of the stories available to Alameda Post readers thanks to our association with KQED and their curated content. To access this and many other articles pertaining to issues affecting the Bay Area and beyond, simply visit any article page at alamedapost.com and scroll to the bottom. You'll find articles from the Monterey Bay Aquarium, The Guardian, Cal Matters, and more. Back in Alameda, friends of the Alameda Animal Shelter are getting ready to provide yet another service to our city. You're probably familiar with the boutique thrifting experience of The Thrifty Kitty at 1509 Webster. We'll now get ready for The Diggity Dog at 649 Pacific. Diggity Dog will have a slightly different vibe with a focus on quality items at very inexpensive prices, including all jewelry items at $1 each. The store will also feature furniture and housewares with proceeds benefiting FOZ. Diggity Dog will be settling into the former Kelly Moore Paint store. You remember Kelly Moore went out of business in early 2024. Converting a retail space never easy, so FOZ is looking for founding sponsors to help bring the store to life. Contributions will cover expenses such as plumbing, signage, flooring, technology, retail display racks, and, ironically, paint to create a welcoming, well-stocked store that can create a real impact. The fundraising goal is $20,000. Every donation of $100 or more gets a discount card good for 20% off purchases for a year at both Thrifty Kitty and Diggity Dog. Additional benefits for larger donations, but any and all donations are more than welcome, as FOZ looks to open Diggity Dog sometime in the spring. Details, including donation levels and a look at their dapper mascot at alamedapost.com/features. As any longtime listener or Post reader knows, FOZ truly one of Alameda's shining lights, and now they've brought back their free monthly pet loss support group. If you've ever escorted a furry friend across the Rainbow Bridge, you know how devastating the loss of a pet can be. For those dealing with the loss of a pet, you can find the support group on the fourth Tuesday of every month from 6 to 7 at the FOZ South Shore Administrative Office, located in between GNC and the Trader Joe's exit doors in South Shore. You'll find signage directing you to the meeting. The peer support group is not a therapy session. It's a mutual support space facilitated by FOZ's veterinary social worker, Raquel Bernaldo. Participants are invited and encouraged to bring a photo or item that connects you to your pet. Find details at alamedapost.com/features. It's that time of year again when scholastic musicians and thespians get to share their hard work with appreciative audiences. This past Tuesday, the AHS Jazz Band performed at Yoshi's in Oakland. Next Friday, the Alameda All-City Band and Orchestra concert takes place at AHS High School Gym at 7 o'clock, featuring students from Lincoln, Wood, Academy of Alameda, Encinal Junior and Senior, and Alameda High. Later in March, Encinal High Drama presents Mamma Mia, with Alameda High's theater students bringing you the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. Details and ticket links in Susan Davis's article at alamedapost.com/op-ed. Mark your calendars for Saturday, March 29th. Grab some gloves, closed-toed shoes, and a water bottle and get ready to improve the quality of life, air, and water here in Alameda as 100,000 Trees for Humanity and ARPD presents a community tree planting event at Linear Park on Main Street. Joyce Mercado has the details, provides your email for question and signups at alamedapost.com/features. With the weather warming up, time to get back out on the town. After a brief hiatus, our walking history tours return next weekend. Dennis Evanosky kicks things off with the Gold Coast, Franklin Park to Bay Street. The tour begins at Franklin Park, and you can attend either Saturday or Sunday at 10 a.m. Details and tickets at alamedapost.com/tours. After last week's beer-focused offerings, Amanda Laird has returned to a wide-ranging smorgasbord of events in this week's All Around Alameda column. The Food Bank Players begin their run of The Great Gatsby in the intimate setting of Daisy's Mercantile. Seating is limited to 30 per performance, so reservations highly recommended. Special Olympics Northern California Polar Plunge fundraiser Saturday, along with a 5K run. Shell and Friends take the stage at Rhythmix Cultural Works Saturday night for one performance of Daughters of the Delta, which takes a deep dive into the history of music in Louisiana with special attention to female musicians. And Sunday, get your breakfast on at the Healing Garden as Night Hair and Bread teams with Tetrahedron Coffee for the Alameda for Altadena Community Breakfast Benefit, with proceeds helping those affected by the Eden Fire. Details on these events in Amanda Laird's All Around Alameda column at alamedapost.com/features. Thank you for your support of local news for Alameda. You can find us on all the usual social media outlets. We've got quite a thing going on Blue Sky. If you haven't joined up there, take a look. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. I'll be back next Friday with episode 144 of the Alameda Postcast.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.